Today we are going to talk about the movie Get Out. This story is about the desire of human beings to be immortal, and how human beings themselves always trying to make themselves immortal. And they always think about how can they make their body the most powerful, no matter what the cost to be paid or no matter how much loss to anyone fallen. They don't care. They only care about one thing, and that is strength. And this is the story about the desire to get out and its outcome. But before talking about the story, to all of you, request that please subscribe to this channel now, because your one subscription gives us the courage to make such new videos. The story begins, and we see a man walking down a deserted path, but suddenly a man attacks him and makes him unconscious, after putting it in the trunk of his car and leaving. Now we see Chris Washington, a black photographer from Brooklyn, New York, preparing for a weekend visit to upstate New York to meet the family of his white girlfriend, Rose Armitage. Black and white, what's the point in this story? We will learn further. Rose wants Chris to meet her family, but this thing is troubling Chris. Hesitant, asks Rose if her family knows about their interracial relationship, but she assures him they are not racist. Now Chris gets ready to meet Rose's family on the weekend, but while leaving he calls his friend Rod and tells him that he is going to visit her family at his girlfriend's house and it may take some time for him to come back. And you take care of my dog until I come. Rod also agrees to this thing. Then suddenly a deer collides with their car, then Rose stops the car for a while. There the policeman arrives. He knows very well that Rose was driving this car, yet he asks Chris for a license to harass him, because Chris is a black man. And after seeing this thing, Rose gets angry and fights with the policeman. After arguing for a while, these people leave in a short time. Then they arrive at Rose's house. At home, we see Rose's parents. Her father's name is Dean Armitage and he is a surgeon. Her mother's name is Missy Armitage, who is a hypnotherapist. And those people are very happy to see these two here. Here we learn that they have no problem with black people, but their happiness is much more, which is quite strange to see. At the same time, Dean starts taking Chris around the whole house. He shows the picture of his father and says that my father was a runner. He participated in the 1936 Olympics, but my father could not win the cup, because he was not as good as the man who defeated him. And that man was black. The dean also says that he wants Barack Obama to be the president for the third time. And after hearing all these things, he came to know how obsessed this family is with black people, which sounds very strange. Dean takes Chris to his kitchen where he introduces his maid, Georgina. Georgina is a black lady. And now Dean takes Chris out and introduces him to another servant named Walter, who is also black. Dean tells that both the servants have been here since his parents were alive. They took care of them, so even after their death, he kept them here. But both the servants look very strange because he looks at Chris in such a strange way. And then when all these people are sitting together, then only the things Dean learns that Chris is also addicted to cigarette smoking. Dean tells him that I too had this addiction, but Missy's hypnotherapy got rid of my addiction. And if you want, you can also get rid of it. It's night now, and all these people who are having dinner, Rose's brother Jeremy comes here. Now Jeremy starts talking weird things here. He starts saying that he wants to fight Chris to find out who is more powerful. Rose's family finds these things very awkward. So Rose apologizes to Chris and Chris says it's all right. And now Chris can't sleep at night, so he goes outside to smoke a cigarette. There he sees Walter, who is running very fast, coming towards him, and as soon as he comes to Chris he changes path. Just then he sees Georgina, who is looking strangely at herself in the mirror. And Chris here doesn't understand what's going on here. Then only Missy calls him. Missy pressures Chris into a hypnotherapy session to cure his smoking addiction. While in his trance, he confesses that his mother was killed in a hit-and-run when he was a child and that he feels responsible for her death as he waited too long to call for help. He then enters a void Missy calls the sunken place after she hits the cup with a spoon 3 times. He is able to hear everything Missy says to him, but he is not able to react in any way to it. With no reaction to Chris, he seems to have no control over his body as Missy hypnotizes him. Suddenly his eye opens and he finds himself in the bedroom as he thinks he is dreaming. And when he goes out in the morning, he finds Walter there. And Walter apologizes to him for the night. But Walter is talking in a very strange way. Seeing him, it seems that he is some old man. But Walter is too young. Now Chris goes to Rose and says, I think your mother hypnotized me in the night because I can't smoke, because when I think of cigarettes, I am feeling vomiting. Only then the party starts in the house. Those who have come to that party, most of them are white and all are old people. And all these guys do weird things with Chris. They touch his body to know how powerful it is. The same people ask what games he can play, and all their eyes are always on Chris stays on. It's so strange to see. Then we see the same black man at this party who was kidnapped at the beginning of the story. But that guy over here looks like he's completely changed. His name is Logan King. He is very young to look at, but his wife is an old lady whose age will be about 35 years more. But Logan behaves like an old man, and Chris finds his way of talking like a white person. Now meanwhile, Chris meets a photographer whose name is Jim Hudson. Jim tells that he used to do photography earlier, but after becoming blind, he left photography and opened his own gallery, whose name is Hudson Gallery, and Jim talked to Chris here for a long time. Here he says that his gallery is very good. He is telling all this because Chris is also a photographer. As Chris walks into the room, he passes several people. As soon as he goes up through stairs, all these people suddenly stop and he starts looking at Chris. It seems that maybe these people are pretending to talk. As soon as he enters the room, he sees that the charging cable of his mobile has been removed and that his phone battery is about to drain. That's why he gets very angry and tells Rose that I think Georgina disconnected my phone from charging because she doesn't like me at all. And now Chris gets very upset and calls his friend Rod and tells him that there are a lot of strange things going on here and that Rose's mother hypnotizes him too, and they are talking. Just then Georgina comes into that room and apologizes to Chris and tells him that she accidentally removed the charging cable. Chris says it doesn't matter. Then Chris tells Georgina that he gets a little upset when he comes across white people. And on hearing this, tears come to her eyes, and it seems that Georgina is about to say something, but her facial expressions express something else. But her words are saying something else. Georgina is unable to say anything even after trying hard and keeps smiling. Only then Chris here exits, and the people outside ask him some questions about black people. Chris says that Logan will answer this when he is answering this thing. Only then Chris takes his photo, inconspicuously, but when his flash goes off, Logan becomes hysterical. And now his nose starts bleeding, shouting at Chris to get out. The others restrain him, and Missy later claims that Logan had an epileptic seizure. Logan comes out after a while, then he is all right and he apologizes to Chris. Rose takes Chris away from there, and Chris tells her that he feels that he's seen Logan somewhere, and he probably knows Logan. Meanwhile, we look at Dean, who has put a big picture of Chris, and it looks like people are bidding for him. That is, here is the auction of Chris going on. And Jim Hudson wins this auction, that blind photographer. Chris sends Logan's picture to Rod at night and says, I saw it somewhere. Then, Rod identifies Logan as Andre Hayworth. Chris also quickly remembers that they know him and that he is a missing person from Brooklyn. But Chris could not understand why he was calling himself Logan King and why he was telling a woman 30 years older than himself as his wife. So Chris gets very scared and he calls Rose saying, I have to leave now, and then Rose starts packing too. While Chris packs to leave, he finds photos of Rose in prior relationships with several black partners, including Walter and Georgina, contradicting her earlier claim that Chris is the first black person she has dated. Now Chris does not understand this because, in these pictures, Walter and Georgina look completely different. Rose's family told him that they both have been here for a long time. But looking at these pictures, it seems that they used to be in a relationship with Rose. So here Chris's troubles start increasing even more, and Chris reaches down running. While he sees that Dean and Missy are blocking his way, Rose comes and Chris repeatedly asks for the key. And after a while, she takes out the key, but she tells him that you know that I cannot give you the key. And now Chris is about to run away when Jeremy stops him. Then Missy plays the cup 3 times with a spoon, and then Chris falls down. And we see Chris again on a sunken place, that dark world. Then we see Rod, who tries to call Chris over and over again. Suspecting a conspiracy, Rod tries to tell the police, but his claims are dismissed. And then we see Chris again. As soon as he comes to his senses, finds himself strapped to a chair in the basement. But there is a TV in front of Chris where a video is playing. And in this video, we first get to see Rose's grandfather. And now here we understand everything about Roman. He used to be a neurosurgeon, and after many years of hard work, he found a new way. With the help of this, he could do brain transplants, that is, the body of someone else and the brain of someone else. And when brain transplants are done, there will be no harm of any kind to that human body. But his mind will automatically change, and as soon as he changes his brain, he will become a different person. Because whose mind belongs, all the memories are also his. And the identity is also his, and he has control over the whole body. But even after this transplant, some glimpse of the previous person remains in the mind. Because these people do not remove the whole brain. These people remove only that part from which the body has complete control. And the former person is also present inside the brain. But it is on sunken place so it can see, hear, and feel but can't do anything, even it can't give any kind of reaction. Dean keeps his mother Marianne alive in Georgina's body, which is Georgina's body but Marianne's mind. This is the reason why Georgina repeatedly tries to say something to Chris, but she can't say because she is in sunken place. Dean has put his father's brain into Walter's body, and that's how their entire family lives together. And Jim Hudson also wanted Chris's body to get a new body, and his eyes would also come back. And these people did the same thing with Andre Hayworth. The old lady had put her old husband's brain in Andre's body. So during that party, all eyes were on Chris's body as everyone was thinking of buying his body. And all these people buy the body of black people because they think that the black body is stronger. And this method is a boon for all rich people. With the help of this transplant, they too can become immortal. Whenever they get old, they will change their body until they can live for eternity, and a great example of this is Dean's family. He kept his parents alive till now. When Chris is watching all these things on TV, then he notices that cotton is coming out of the sofa he is sitting on. And then suddenly the same cup and spoon appear on the TV, which makes the sound 3 times, and Chris falls unconscious. And then we see Dean, who is ready for surgery. And now he's going to put Jim's brain in Chris's body. Jeremy reaches to get Chris's body, then suddenly Chris wakes up and he injures Jeremy with a ball. Here Chris was conscious because he had put the cotton in the ear of the sofa. And when there he did not faint while the cup and spoon appear, which makes the sound 3 times. But he pretended to be unconscious. And the very next moment, Chris starts coming out of there, only then does Dean appear in front of him. And the fight begins between these two, and eventually, Chris kills Dean. After that, as he moves forward, he finds Missy in front of him. Missy is about to play the cup again with the spoon as soon as she sees him. But Chris breaks it. Missy attacks him, but Chris kills her too. But then Jeremy attacks him again, because Jeremy was just injured, he was not dead. But this time Chris killed him and took his car keys. Then we see Rose, who is looking for her next victim. And so she is searching the internet to find where she can find strong black people. Meanwhile, we see Chris, who is running away with the car. Then suddenly Georgina comes in front of him, because she has Rose's grandmother in his brain. Here Chris has hit his car. Chris knows that Georgina is an innocent girl who has taken control of his mind. So he picks up Georgina and sits in the car. Just then, Rose hears this voice, and she sees that Chris has killed her entire family. So she takes out a rifle and shoots at him. Then that Georgina got conscious inside the car and attacked Chris, and says that you have destroyed my whole family. And Georgina starts trying to kill Chris here. Then Chris's car collides with a tree. Georgina faints and Chris is badly injured, then he gets out of the car. Then Rose starts firing at him from afar. Now Walter attacks Chris, Walter, who is Rose's grandfather. Walter is about to kill Chris. Then Chris lights up the flash of his phone, causing Walter to suddenly stop. Just then, Rose comes here and she tries to shoot Chris. But Walter stops her, then Walter asks Rose for a rifle. As soon as he gets the rifle, he shoots Rose. After shooting Rose, he shoots himself, because Rose's grandfather had dominated Walter's mind before the phone flashed. So he shot himself so that he could be free from sunken place, because not know how many years his mind was imprisoned in sunken place. And now all these people are dead. Rose is breathing slowly, but she will die soon. Just then the police sirens approach, and Rose cries out for help. However, the driver is revealed to be Rod, who drives away with Chris as Rose is left bleeding out on the road. And the movie ends here. If you like the explanation, then please do subscribe. Thanks for watching.